It's 7 o'clock. All right, you guys can turn on your microphones. Okay, I'll call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. This is Town Council meeting for the Town of Alpine on July 15th. Let's do our Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Good evening. Councilmember Larson.
Here.
Councilmember Burchard.
Here.
Mayor Green.
Here.
Councilmember Scafidi. Mayor Green, you have a quorum of the council with Councilmember Scafidi absent.
Sounds good. And Jonathan, if we need you, we'll have you come up, but or feel free to step in if anything comes up. Mr. Sanderson is, I think he's still out of the country right now, so we'll let him finish up his vacation, and we'll consider it an excused absence for this time. But next is to adopt the agenda. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion?
It's been updated from earlier today?
Yes.
Great.
What, was it just the order, or was it, oh, the one thing was taken off?
Yeah, I removed the one item
Yes.
because it's already been handled.
Yep, sounds good. Any other discussion? All those in favor of adopting the agenda, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? None. Let's see. Next, it looks like we're gonna do the oath of office for Amy Weirda. So, Amy, we're going to come here. Then you'll be
You
official.
by the flag? Well, I guess.
If you don't mind, stand right there, and I'll give you that. And then we'll just make sure everyone can hear. All right, raise your right hand. I, Amy Weirda,
I, Amy Weirda,
do solemnly swear that I will support,
do solemnly swear that I will support,
obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming,
and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming,
that I have not knowingly violated
that I have not knowingly violated
any laws related to my appointment
any laws related to my appointment
or caused it to be done by others,
or caused it to be done by others,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Okay. Thank you.
Come on up.
You.
All right, welcome. Council Member Weirda. Just another really easy name for us all to look through. We wanted to break you in on a really light agenda meeting, so the 3-pager is what we ended up with. But yes, welcome, and if you have any questions, just let us know. We're not very formal here, but we try to get things done in an appropriate way, so hopefully you've been brought up to date with your Robert's Rules of Order and whatnot.
The 3-inch binder.
Yes.
I'm not quite through it yet.
Okay, well, if you have any questions, you just let me know. All right, so with that being said, next is approval of the consent agenda. Did everyone have a chance to read that?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second?
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion? Did you have a chance? Your email's up and going and everything correct? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
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 Aye. Did Did you get it? Okay. Opposed? None. Consent agenda is approved. We'll go right into reports. So I don't have that much to report other than the fact that everyone's probably seen our parking lot is getting, doing Riverview Meadows right now, and I'm sure it'll be part of Craig's report, but we hope to get that on kind of a revolving basis around town, so we'll hit, another section of town next year and then another one the year after, sort of thing. But this will always be something that we try to budget for. 4th of July went great. The parade was another hit. I love seeing so many people involved. Next year is going to be the blowout, though, because it's the semi-quincentennial, the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States, so we're going to go big next year. So you'll see that later on in our agenda. I really don't have anything else, but we'll pass it on to Councilmember Burchard.
Okay, thank you. So 4th of July went well. Mountain Days was a huge success. Just remind everyone, we have music in the mountains every Thursday through July. This week we have Vamoose. Should be great. Make sure you stop by and check it out. Kevin, you look really excited about it, so Thursday night, you should be there.
Always after the farmer's market.
Always after the farmer's market.
Yep.
And they're the farmer's market's going later this year, so they kind of overlap, and that's nice for both events.
Yep.
And the food goes later as well.
Oh, the food goes later too. Yeah, that's great. And there were 2 food trucks there last week, I think.
Yep.
And then the guy that does the tamales and tacos and things. Yeah, so.
And kettle corn.
And kettle corn, yeah. So, I think there was barbecue, corn dogs, and then those 2. Coming up in August, we have the car show, which is on August 16th. That's a great event because there are actually 3 events that day. The Star Valley Street Market will be here in Alpine. We have the car show over at the Civic Center, and then down at the Bank of Jackson Hole on the lawn is the Star Valley Arts Art Festival. So great day to be in town, I think. And then after that, I think the next big thing is the Fall Fest. But we don't want to talk about fall.
Right. Yeah, not here quite yet. Can I add one thing?
Yes.
Latoja has reached out like they do every single year, and I was interested to find out that last year was the first year, now that we have Cobblestone and, is it the Hawthorne? What's the new hotel?
Hawthorne.
Yeah.
Hawthorne.
Yeah, that's right. So last year, what did the email say? They rented, or they got 60 rooms?
Last year it was 30, this year they expect 60.
Right. So anyways, I
Now
think this might be, since they are going to be using our hotels and all that, they may come to us next year for the travel and tourism to ask for something to help, fund their awesome event. But that's always the first Saturday after Labor Day. And everyone, of course, sees them all over the roads and everything, but we'll have flyers around town, making sure, I'm sure if you've volunteered in the past, they'll be calling you. If you'd like to volunteer, reach out to the people at Latoja, and they will find a place for you to volunteer, I'm sure. Next is the engineering report. Kevin, do you want to do that?
All right. Mayor Green, council members. We've been working a little bit on the water and sewer rates this month, but we've kind of got it to a point now, so we're looking to do a workshop with y'all so we can kind of work through that a little bit. It's going to tie right in with the water study that's going to be out here tomorrow. So that's 7 o'clock tomorrow. So that'll be pretty interesting to see where all the results are and where it's going. Craig said the book's about 3 inches thick, so yeah. So it'll be nice to have a summary.
Yeah.
Let's see, the radio read meters, Public Works has all but about 10 of their meters in, and that's just because they don't have them. They did a radio frequency test last week. Craig said it turned out pretty well. They're going to work on it again tomorrow, and then start seeing if they could possibly maybe do a preliminary billing to kind of see how things work. So of all the ones that he's got on the outside, we still have quite a few meters on the inside buildings to do, and then we still have quite a few vaults to do. So there's still quite a bit to still get done, but it's nice to see some progress and the things starting to come together a little bit on that. So we've got 2 antennas that have to come in, one at Ferry Park and one at Public Works. They're going to do the foundations at the end of this month, and then mount those antennas in August. And then they'll finish it up all the other meters in August, probably the biggest ones, biggest 1 inch and 3/4 inch inside the buildings. So.
And you got all the parts, from what I understand? Or have you guys looked at, made sure?
That's what we're, are we talking water treatment plant, or are we talking the
Pre-treatment.
radio? Pre-treatment plant, yes. So we've got all the parts that were on the list. There were 2 pumps that Cambrian didn't send us originally, that they sent to Precision, that wasn't on the list.
Oh,
So that's 2 things that we found there. We found 1 light transmitter that basically it's a level transducer that it wasn't sent originally either from Cambridge.
okay.
So those are the few little things, but it's really nice to have a list of things and everybody knows where all these pieces parts go. It's nice to walk to the plant and see things done, lots of things done everywhere. So it's pretty exciting.
So now that we have those parts, do you have, and I won't hold this to you, but do you have a rough idea of how long it should take to kind of finish up for Snake River MEP?
So for the entire plant, we're looking at preliminary, if that one part that is possibly 4 weeks out, that would be 4 weeks, a week to get it here, a week to install it, so it's roughly 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cambrian could come in and start doing some commissioning. We'll commission the plant with clean water, make sure everything's working, bump some pumps, make sure that's kind of going.
Yep.
And then after that, they'll actually do a startup. Do a startup for 2 or 3 weeks, run it, the plant, and then we'll get Bioset swing Bioset in here for the screw press.
Right.
So, yeah, we're looking the end of September. We're hoping to have everything operational. But yes, it's actually moving. Yes.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty
We
exciting.
need to plan a big party.
Yes.
Like, I mean,
Yes.
like,
Don't
can we get one of
jinx
those
it again.
enormous switches and
Yeah.
we all like just lift it up?
And that's September
Yep.
2027.
No, this,
Easy, Jeremy. Easy. Right? Yeah, actually, I talked to my boss, Brian
Yep.
Jorgensen, about the same thing. You're like, hey, we need to do something.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Plan that.
But those are the biggest things that we are doing so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Any questions for Kevin?
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Next, we have Rachel with Planning and Zoning.
Hey,
Hi,
everybody.
Rachel.
Hey, how are you all?
Good.
Last week, we approved 2 single-family homes, no issues. One had been tabled before and came back with a better site plan, so those were pretty straightforward. We tabled a addition deck structure until they have a site plan for next time. We met with Dr. Linford again to talk about his parking lot situation, and we made a recommendation to town council to enter into an encroachment agreement with him to help deal with that. So you might have seen that from Gina in the last week or so. I'm not
We
sure.
haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
It's scheduled to be at our next meeting.
Okay.
We had an informal conversation with Aramark about the Adventure Rentals building. They want to put some employee housing on the top of it, which is allowed by their current zoning, and it's all set up for it already, so we didn't have any issue with that.
Well, here's a question. Are they not in the commercial district?
Or
They're
the MRC.
MRC, yeah.
Oh, they are? Okay.
And then otherwise, we each took a section of the LUDC and reviewed it for clarity, continuity, any mistakes we could kind of find. And we went through those with Gina to come up with some alternative ways of phrasing things. We're doing the same thing again for this next time with the last couple of sections. But I think all those changes will be encompassed in a future amendment, not the third reading that you
Yeah.
guys are doing tonight.
Yeah. I think we've talked about having another work session when you guys have that kind of,
We're
Together.
having a planning and zoning work session on the 31st to talk more about that.
Okay.
But we don't have one planned as a joint yet at this point,
Yeah.
I don't think.
I think it'd be helpful before, let's all sit down. I don't know when we'd schedule it for. We'll get with the clerk and figure out when a good time will be for that, but I would imagine sometime this fall.
Yep.
So,
Okay, that's all.
any questions for Rachel? There is, the one thing you mentioned about the the one permit that you guys tabled, we do have it on our agenda tonight. I didn't know if you heard that or saw
I
that.
didn't, no,
Okay.
but, okay,
Well, yeah, well, if you stick around till then,
okay.
it's gonna be at the very end. But, yeah, we
Sounds
could
good.
use your input on that. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Councilmember Larson.
All right, economic development, not too much has changed there. It's summer tourism's our economic development. I was looking over reports, and it doesn't appear that Craig has a report. I didn't know if you needed time. No. Okay, then I won't give you my time. Then I'll skip to travel and tourism. We don't generally meet in the summertime. All the projects are going. Councilperson Burchard gave all the events going on. A lot of those were sponsored by travel and tourism. Yeah, we have more music on the mountains through the month of July. We've got the car show. We've got the art fair. If you haven't listened to Lexi interview with Duke this morning or yesterday morning,
It was this morning.
it was a good interview. She talked about the art auction that the Travel and Tourism sponsored that they had at the Civic Center a couple weeks ago. Then she also talked about the art exhibit coming that weekend as well. Give it a listen. We'll be having our feedback meeting in October. Other than that, that's it for that. Utility easement update. I haven't got the official notice that they're done, but I also have not seen any work going on up in the hills, so I'm guessing that it potentially could be done. But until I have the
Yep.
the official, I'll let you know, but I'm fairly think it's done.
We should do a ribbon cutting up there. Why not?
Why not? Yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you. Before we get to Stephen Allen, did you have anything you wanted to add? You have no report?
Nope.
You've been here all of 17 minutes, so I would have thought you would have had something, but. All right, Lincoln County Sheriff's, their report was submitted in writing. And next, we'll go on to Stephen Allen, Chief of Staff for Lincoln County Commissioners. Appreciate you coming, Mr. Allen, seeing as though you had a commissioner meeting in Kemmer today as well, so thanks for coming.
Mayor, councilors, appreciate it as always, and I saved the best for last, so this is the last of my annual tour to all the cities and bring you up to date on what the commissioners are doing and want to offer to the cities and make sure I take back feedback from you to them. I definitely want to put a big thank you out, Mayor, for your participation in our septic event last week. The comments were really well received. Now we're collecting the data, and the watershed is all our responsibilities up here, and where the commissioners are taking that very seriously. So it's not like I needed another project on my desk, but we have been working on this for about over a year. And so we have some, if you didn't hear me on SVI on Monday, we've had some people already step up, Cokeville, Opal. We're moving forward. Today we got our lease with the Economic Development Group in South Lincoln County for their property to put a batch plant down there. But I've got Ken Koleski here, our Planning and Zoning Director from the county with me, and we're going to go visit Leisure Valley tomorrow at Star Valley Ranch, and they've offered to actually put in a whole new drying plant and facility for septics. So we're going to start with them and see where that goes.
Where will that be?
That'll be over there by the wagon wheel on the back side, I believe, is where they've got an open, basically an old runway back there that they can
Wow,
put in concrete slabs and
that's
just
great.
lay it out. So we're going to go look at that tomorrow. So I think we sparked a really good interest, and
Yep.
now we're starting to get to some good solutions. It's a problem that, the county has never had any local dumping, and the cities always have kind of been gracious taking that on. It's time we solve the problem and move forward, and that's really what we're doing. So thank you again, Mayor. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
A lot
well,
that you
thank you
put
for
out.
bringing everyone together because, it's much easier to sit down in front of you and figure it out instead of fight it out on Misty's list or whatever everyone's complaining on there. So thank you for inviting us.
Oh, I don't watch Misty's list.
Oh, I'm sure you don't.
Good, good. That's probably a good thing. I do want to congratulate Alpine on the charter school. I know when that first was being discussed, myself, Commissioner Connolly were up here a lot to try to support that event for you guys. So that's going to be exciting when that gets up and running. I do want to add to travel and tourism. One of the things that the commissioners did was we get, roughly 50, 60 grand a year in travel and tourism, and we weren't doing anything with it. So we put together a committee. It was about 3 people to start with, and, we just couldn't seem to keep everybody there. So we said, we really need to open up and have the cities as a participant to the county travel and tourism board/committee. So what we did was we made a resolution, and every chairman on every travel and tourism board for each city is automatically on that committee. And then the commissioners appoint 3. The whole idea there is to involve the whole county in what do we do with the monies from the county. It costs the cities nothing to participate. All of your lodging tax is for your local, but hopefully this committee will come out and say, hey, let's use the county money to do cooperative things. A common website, a common publication, common radio, whatever that is that they decide, that's what we want the county money to go to. Now this year we've commissioners wanted some of this spent because we kind of sat on it for 2 years. So we supported Oyster Ridge, we supported the Arts Council up here and a few others throughout the valley. So we've been using it, but now we're going to give a better stance, and hopefully over this winter season we'll be able to really get them up and running with new bylaws and new aspects of what they want to do with that cooperatively. So that was kind of a gift from the commission to include the cities in more of a say-so in what goes on with those monies. We think it'll bring the county closer together, and that was our goal there. Bob King obviously is our economic development director. We actually have a department there. We hope to at some point be able to grow that with a tourism person and a grant person and have them available to the cities as resources from the long-term perspective. But Bob's doing a great job with that, and of course he handles the recreation board, and I'm still stuck with Pine Creek Ski Area, but I think he'll get that at some point. One of the other things is he's the liaison for the 250 semi-quincentennial, and we've already appointed all of our folks and put in for our $10,000, which is what you're going to do this evening as well. So certainly if there's anything you want to do cooperatively, let him know so that we can make sure we don't do any duality in the events. We want to be sure that you guys get the biggest bang for your buck, and we really support that as much as we can. Some other things that the county are doing, really sales tax. That's the biggest thing the county can do to help the cities, is make sure that we have pointed delivery. Boy, I hit that POD all the time. And why is that important? Because you guys have seen all those big white boxes come through town in the trucks, right, without the pilot cars, which we made sure we notified the state on. But anyway, we had identified that earlier in the year. We made sure we got in contact with them and said, you're going to store it more in 3 months. Guess what? That's point of delivery. So you can pay our sales tax or you can go pay Jackson's sales tax. They chose to pay ours.
That's awesome.
So to date, for the county, we collected $560,000 for them just storing it there.
Good job.
And we have another $200,000 we're going to collect for them before it's over with. And why is that important? Because cities live on sales tax, and it's split equally by population, right? So some of the other things we're doing, industrial siding. So TerraPower obviously is up and running. They're on track. They're looking at starting their impact petition on September. They've already been doing some things. So they've already done 3 huge concrete pours. They're estimating in the next 5 years, every year, $5 million to the county that we'll be splitting. So you should be seeing your sales tax revenue kind of creep up. You get a share in that, so that's great. Pacific West, which is actually closer to Granger, but we were trying to get them to put their pipe yard near us too, them and Frontier Carbon. They're actually put off till December of 2026. So Sweetwater's having a little hard time with their industrial siding, and we're going gangbusters with TerraPower. But we just found out Blue Spruce is coming out the end of July. We did a 50-mile radius to see how much of Star Valley we could get in, and we still only got Afton. So, and Afton we were able to get Terra Power money for. They weren't on the original map. We fought for them. So we're always looking at opportunities that if impact assistance is close enough, we make the argument that we want to include the cities up here as well. Being outside that 50-mile radius won't help you on impact, but we have Tulsa at LaBarge, and it's right outside LaBarge, and they've got to go through LaBarge, so they're going to put their pipe yard right in LaBarge. So you'll get sales tax out of that revenue too. And they're looking at, we'll do the MOU in August. Sublet's not eligible because they don't charge the 5 cent or the 6 penny. So I have to take charge of that, Lincoln County, to lead the MOU with their 3 cities and then all of ours that are eligible, and as well as the special districts. The other thing I just would say is NEPA, and we have been hammering the feds in multiple areas on the city's behalf. I want to say thank you, Mayor, to hosting the APEX. That 4-hour exercise that we had with all the fire and emergency, I had 2 really junior commissioners that got to see and understand what their role is in an emergency setting, and that probably the best 4 hours we've spent up here in Alpine. So thanks for hosting that. We're working with the Grays River Coalition. There is some logging roads that we're going to have our engineer go out with Brett Story, who's now the chairman of the Grays River Coalition, and give her opinion on what they need to do to improve to make it a logging road so we can get some of those timbers. We always recognize that as much as we love the protection of the forest and the conservation of the forest, our part of the Bridger-Teton really is a working forest when we talk about grazing and timber and trails and everybody wanting the use of those. And how do we do that safely and responsibly is always the key. So the Forest Revision had their meeting in Alpine. I believe it was last night. Afton, I'm sorry. I'm in Alpine. It's been a long day. I don't remember where I am anymore. I know they're going to do Jackson and Pinedale. Then they're going to follow up with Kemmer, Cokeville. Big Piney just fell off. Yeah. They're going to do Evanston and Rock Springs as well.
Alpine's the 21st.
Alpine's August 21st.
Perfect. Excellent. And so I encourage you guys to do that. I'm on that monthly call, and I've already had my conversation with the supervisor. 16 out of the 17 recommendations we made as a cooperative agency were accepted. A lot of the plants we're concerned we didn't want them to get them to the point, the endangered piece of it, so they're medium impacted, which means it's not going to affect our grazing rights. When you look at Lincoln County, we have about 40 different grazing rights on the BT, and we want to make sure those are protected. That's a key industry for us, because one of the things we're bringing down south is agriculture back to Lincoln County around the Sage Junction. So we're going to be looking at a kill barn and a sale barn and feedlot and so on in that area. So that's going to be exciting. The last thing I would mention that affects you, of course, is the BOR. It just came out. So as you can see, I'm just now starting to read it. This is a Bureau of Reclamations, and the person who was doing this got fired out of the Doge, so they're running like chickens with their head cut off. So my comments are due by July 18th as a cooperative agency. All of these we're including Daniel Betancourt, just so you're aware. We're pulling in the big guns with the cooperative governments, which is Sublette County, Sweetwater, Lincoln, and Uinta. And I think Carbon's in that as well. So when those 5 counties speak, feds seem to listen a little bit. So I'll be doing my draft here. Ken and I drove by there to kind of look at some of the things. Very concerned about how the piles are, but we can't find any restitution to that. But we are watching it very closely, just so you know. After July 18th, then public comment will be available. So then you are mentioned in here in your previous comments that Mayor you made, and I think Councilwoman Scafidi had made as well. So you're actually quoted in there. So just so you know, you're being listened to. With all that, we'll submit those, and I'll make sure you get a copy of my comments, and then you'll have a chance of where you're going from there.
Do you mind sending us the copy that you received before you even make
I
comments?
can't do it yet because it's still cooperative,
Oh, okay.
pre-decisional. Once it goes decisional, then,
Okay.
go to the public period, then we'll open that up to you. But
We
that's
have
one
a
of the
meeting-
agreements.
We have a meeting with them tomorrow afternoon. With
Perfect.
the BOR, so
Perfect.
I'll ask her if she'll send it to us. Maybe she will.
Yeah, they kind of control that
Yep.
when in the release, but I would ask them, absolutely. But with that, that's a lot of what we're doing in the county to support Alpine and the great people in the lower valleys. So what kind of questions or concerns have you got for me?
I'll start because maybe some of my questions carry over to other people, but where do we stand on the county roads? 100 and 101, we did a resolution and sent a letter to you guys saying we're open to taking those on. We want to start the conversation. Do you have an update on that?
Not at this time, but what we have done is taken on your recommendation to get that chip sealed. And so that's being done these 2 weeks. So it should be done by the end of these 2 weeks and have it chip sealed, and then we'll bring that back to the commission. Budget really took a big hit on
Oh, yeah.
time the last 30 days. We love our legislature. You can write that down, Senator. So we really do appreciate our legislators and how hard they work, but the overall sense that came back from Cheyenne hurt everybody. I mean, we lost $2.8 million. As Commissioner Conley mentioned today, as we approved the budget, what really saved us was we did not participate in the governor's match like we did the previous year. That would have cost us about $900,000. And then we were able to save $1.5 million in health insurance. So we were able to offset it because obviously we're building a new district court. You'll see that in the papers. The district court is really necessary with all the growth that we're seeing. We have ADA concerns on the second level of the courthouse. We're paying cash for it. We had enough in capital savings that we're going to be able to carry that over the year to get that done. So, yeah,
Okay.
welcome to our budget.
Has there been any talk about going to districts with the commissioners where we would have a specific commissioner that represented, Etna to Alpine, and then another that did, Kemmer or whatever? Is there been any discussion?
Here's kind of the key of how that works, is that you always have to have one at-large member. So even if we went to districts on 3, right, where do you set the 2 districts at, number 1? And then you have one at-large member, right? What's the number 1 voting precinct in the county?
Don't know.
Fairview Osmond. So when you look at it from that perspective, if we did that district, would it still be fair, right? If you go to 5, right, you still have to have 2 at large, and then you get 3 districts, right? So if we even broke it up into 3 districts, and then you have 2 at large, and you're still sitting with where the larger population is to vote, where the number's going to lead you down that road, right? And of course, adding 2 more commissioners, you're adding $500,000 to $800,000 to a budget that's already strapped. So-
Why 500,000 to 800,000 to a budget?
Well, first of all, they all make $50,000 each, number 1, and then you look at the retirement and all the things that go into that as well. And then you also have the issue of all the supporting elements that go behind each commissioner. So it's probably costly to put on additional commissioners.
Okay.
So from our standpoint, we understand the dynamics that are involved. We're not sure there's a lot to be gained from that, but it's the people's choice, and if they come to the commission with an idea, certainly the commissioners want to listen to the ideas from the population. So
Okay. How well versed are you on the 1-cent municipal option tax?
vary
Okay.
on how it works, or
How many how many municipalities in the county use that 1 cent?
for the 6 penny? 0.
Right. Have you heard the kind of mandate from the Wyoming Business Council that says, if you're going to be coming and asking for money, we encourage you to have that the 1 cent municipal option tax in line?
That has always kind of been a standard when you go to Cheyenne, because the issue is, what are you doing to tax yourself first? What did you do before you came to Cheyenne and asked us for money? SLIB is notorious for that. So although they say that, you can always have a great argument as to why you do or do not. None of us have control on what the constituents decide to tax themselves with. When we look at what Sublet not choosing to do the 5 cent or the 6 cent, it costs them dearly on impact assistance with Blue Spruce. They can't even participate. So having the 5-cent general fund helps us enormously. The 6 cent then just becomes debatable. I think if Wyoming Business Council tried to put that into hard discussion, then you're going to get us standing next to you if you put in an application to Wyoming Business Council arguing the point in your favor. So,
Yep. There may be, you'd have to, ask the commissioners, but if this is something that the town of Alpine was interested in getting more information on, obviously it has to go to commissioners to get approval to put it on the ballot, but we'll see if we can get any legs.
just as the previous one occurred, if you have the majority on the petition of communities, the commissioners are by law required to approve it, and that's their position. They will support what the communities ask them for.
Okay. That's all I had on my list. I'll start on that side. Mr. Larson, do you have?
Just one real
Yep.
thing, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Next time, I'm going to ask you to submit these in advance. No, I'm
No
just
way.
kidding.
I like to keep you off guard. Councilmember Larson, do you have anything?
I don't have much. I spoke actually with Bob King earlier today. We did discuss where we're at. As I mentioned at our last meeting, we're working on a trails project throughout the valley. We're still working on that, making contacts and meeting up. But no, Bob's doing great as far as both combining economic development and recreation. So,
Glad to hear it, absolutely.
And you sit on the new travel and tourism.
and I sit on the new travel and tourism.
I would also add to that, if you'll notice, we've got the exit there. We're moving the road
Yeah.
by the rest to cut off that unsafe corner. That should be done this year. And if you'll notice, as you're going through the Narrows, it's very slim. So we went ahead and stood up, and we made sure that we magged and graded all of Grover Point to make sure that there was still emergency access between the two valleys. So those are things that we identify along the way and try to help out with as well. So
Councilmember Burchard, do you have anything?
Thank you for all the information. That was a lot and very helpful. Lots of good stuff there. I just had a quick point on clarification of those white buildings that you referred to. Just, those are for a construction project in Jackson, right?
that's correct. They're a
It's-
modular hotel.
Modular hotel, that's right.
That's my understanding.
So,
And they're
great that we're
coming
getting
from
some
Minnesota.
sales tax from that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They paid some permit fees too, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Did you have anything?
No, thank you.
I would certainly congratulate you, Councilman Weirda. I was also an appointee. Of course, that was in Rock Springs, but, and then served another 4 years and enjoyed all 5 years. But, you're going to have a great time and you're going to do well. So
Good.
welcome aboard.
All right, the last one I'm going to hit you with is impact fees. That came up during our discussion on the septic. It's something that the town of Alpine is going to be implementing, or it seems like we are, since we did a study on it and we see the benefits of it. But I would encourage you and the commissioners to look at impact fees as a way to maybe encourage people to come into a municipality versus building like 1 mile outside of town. And I think $300 for a septic is something that needs to be looked at as well. I think some of the comments you got at that meeting, it's almost too easy to get a septic in Lincoln County. I don't know what it is in other counties, but it seems like you guys are on top of it and you're open to most anything, but that's kind of the feedback that I would give you after doing our research. I think you can put a lot of money in the bank set aside to maybe put in some infrastructure. Maybe that would have paid for these concrete drying pads for the septic, things of that nature. So applaud you guys for looking at it and being so reactive, and maybe impact fees might be the proactive step that you guys could take that brings some money in.
Here's the downside to impact
Tell us.
fees from the county. Remember, the county does not create any laws. We are wards of the legislature, as much as we love them. And being wards of the legislature, they give us very strict guidance of what we can and cannot do. So as we go out and you look at septics, it is not the county that's issuing the permit. It's the county acting on behalf of the state to give the permit. So all of those go through DEQ and what our qualifications are and what they need us to do. So from that standpoint, they don't allow us to do impact fees. The best thing that we're doing, and we have coming up in August, are road LUR. So the statute does allow us to put in land use regulations, and in doing that, we're widening our roads. So if somebody does build within a mile of the city, that hopefully a 26-foot wide road is going to meter up to the roads that you guys have if you ever decide to annex. This is why the county is always in favor of annexing if the cities desire to do that. You guys get to make laws. You can force people into things. Even us, we can't even operate an enterprise account because I couldn't make any money at it. I can't force people to use it. I can't force people to tie into it. I can't even assess them to do that, whereas you have every one of those rights within your purveyance. So our hands are a little tied when it comes to those. We did raise all of our fees this year to try to help promote some good quality things. Some of the things that Mr. Koleski has been at, and you've probably heard a lot if you're watching the Facebook stuff, that, you know, we're catching some bad players and saying, hey, there's penalties, you need to play those. You're not doing it the right way. We'd like you to come in compliance. And we're working with them in a very nice way to get them there and giving them time to come into compliance. But it's been a long time since we've had somebody, I mean, even you had your planning and zoning person coming up and saying, we need to go inspect, right? We're in the same boat. We have to be able to inspect. Lincoln County, unlike any other county in the state of Wyoming, has the majority of the people living in the rural area. If you look at Sweetwater and Uinta, Sweetwater's got largest county in the state, 6,000 people in the rural area. Uinta's got 4,000. We have 12,000. So when you look at Sweetwater's planning department has basically 3 people, I have 7. So we're always in this crux of, it seems like we're doing city planning and zoning without any of the full tools that the city has in planning and zoning. But all of those recommendations we take seriously and look at and go, is there a way? And we still come back to statutes and what they allow us to do.
So we need to speak to our state senators to see if maybe we could encourage them to allow counties to implement impact fees?
Well, they'd have to put it in state statute to say counties are allowed to do these things. Yep.
That seems reasonable. I'll try to contact the person. Well, that's all I had.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I do have one. Has the county, it's been extremely advantageous for myself, and I know this board and the general public, for what the town of Alpine's done as far as videoing, going to YouTube, being able to catch up on meetings and such like that. Is the county looking to do any part of that? 'Cause
Not at this
that would
time.
be extremely helpful.
Yeah, I was, when I did my Thane visit, they've got a great crew down there as well, and one of the councilmen said, oh, the county should do that, and I said, I think that's a great idea. Unfortunately, it's the electorate's choice, not mine. So, you know, commissioners have got to feel comfortable in moving that direction. They do make it available. We're the only county that has an annex of the courthouse. When you talk about what's available up here with having a planning and zoning office and the sheriff's office and everything up here, clerk and treasurer, we're the only county in the state that does that. So we really are operating two courthouses. But that being said, the rest of that story, as Paul Harvey would say, is that he said that, and I said, well, it's a matter of the electorate. And then he turned over and he said, Mayor, you know, we really need to be doing that, don't we? And I thought, boy, how nice. You call me on the carpet, and you guys, what?
Well, that brings me back to just, as you said, that, you know, you have the largest rural population of 12,000, and all those people, you know, and this is, I don't know if Lincoln County is the longest distance county from one end to the other in the state, but if it's not, it's close.
We were discussing that coming up. We weren't sure, yeah. Because Sweetwater's pretty long.
It's got to be, yeah. And there's more municipalities in Lincoln County than any other county.
Except Carbon. Carbon actually has 10.
Oh, really?
It does.
They just changed that.
But they're very small. You know, and when you look at Rollins, I mean, it's a 10,000 person. We don't have any community over 3,000. So, yeah, this is difficult. This is why commissioners send me out. So I'm going to start wearing armor, though. I Safety
This is
first.
nothing. I really appreciate you coming, though. Thanks for.
It is always a pleasure,
Yep.
Mayor, and thank you, Mayor and counselors, for all your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks, Steve.
And you have my card, so you may call me anytime, Counselor.
Thank you.
all right. Thank you
Thanks,
very
Mayor.
much.
Appreciate
Okay,
it.
Thanks, Kim. All right. We will, I appreciate you coming. You don't have to stay, but, you know, we do have 3-page agenda to get through here. So typically, we would open it up to public comment for agenda items right now, and this is where people can come up, say something about anything on the agenda. You may not necessarily get the opportunity when the actual agenda item or action item is being read, but there are a couple people that might want to come up and say something, so I wanted to give them the opportunity, seeing as though the Mueller's their last on the list. I didn't know if you came in anticipation to stay until the end, or did you want to come up and make a comment now?
We're just here to talk to
Oh, well, thank you. Anyways, did anyone come to say anything regarding anything on the agenda? Hi there.
Hi.
Welcome.
My
Please
name
give us your name. I'm sorry.
is Jennifer Kraus, and I am not a part of the town of Alpine, but my husband and I have 4 lots over in the Archie Hills subdivision, and then he has an additional 3 with a buddy of his, so we have 7 altogether there. So I'm very interested in everything that you guys are discussing when
Which
it comes.
subdivision?
Archie Hills subdivision, located right off of Highway 100.
Okay.
So I'm very interested in all of that. So I guess I'd like to find out where I can get some more information on the master plan. I know at the previous meeting that I had come to, it sounded like it was just going to be directed towards plowing potentially taking over, but then that Star Valley Independent video came out where it's like literally our property twice in the video, a whole span of. So I'm concerned as the direction that might go because we do not have any desire to be annexed in. So how do we get additional information moving forward to figure out how we can participate in what is moving forward?
Okay, so there's a QR code on our website. There's a link to this survey.
We did the survey,
Okay?
both of us. Yep.
Yep. There's going to be other opportunity for public comment.
I think I even reached out right after your directive to you via email, saying that I understood, and we had a bunch of people who weren't interested. How do we go about disputing that?
So, if you don't mind, I'll put you on. Let me ask you, why aren't you interested in annexing into the town of Alpine?
First and foremost, the county can't force us to do anything, but the town can. That's number one. We are building that big blue house that was in the thing. We have, like I said, 7 lots right there. We just paid a lot of money to put in our own wells and septic. We have our own wells and septic on the other properties that we have. You guys running water where we have to connect on 7 lots there is kind of a major thing that we would have to be concerned about. Even if it is broken up over time, it's still, we just paid a lot of money. This is our retirement plan. I'm a hairstylist. My husband's done construction all his life. Now he works up at the ski resort, but they don't usually come with 401ks and other benefits and everything. We have some going, but we have worked really hard, multiple jobs, trying to invest in land to get to this point to do it. I've seen in some of your land use stuff how currently we have an Airbnb, and it seems like there wants to be applications for that and all of this stuff. And so I see everything we're working hard for being pulled apart by potentially the government wanting their piece of it.
I thank you for your comments. I'd be more than happy to sit down with you, myself, our planning administrator, the clerk. We will sit down and maybe we could answer any questions that you have. You did mention a few things like the permits potentially for an Airbnb. That has only been talked about. I mean, it still has to go in front of the commission if it ever happens, and then has to be voted upon and things of that nature. So obviously, if you were ever going to want the water and sewer, it sounds like you already have your wells. At some time in the future, there may be a reason for you to tie into our water and sewer system. And there is an ordinance that says you cannot unless you're in the town of Alpine. So just keep that in mind as a backup plan. Yeah, I appreciate you coming, and feel free to email me directly, and we'll set up a meeting and see if maybe we could dispel some of the rumors or questions that you might have. But yeah, appreciate you coming.
Okay, great. Great,
Thanks.
thank you.
Yep, come on up. Is this regarding something on the agenda?
Same thing.
Okay, well, come on
My
up.
wife.
All right,
I'm
good.
Kraus.
You're tag teaming us.
Yeah. So last time she stood up here, you actually said that they reached out to you and offered you a plow truck to take care of that road. And tonight you said that you wrote them a letter
So,
regarding that. So that was not accurate. I just want to point out.
it is completely accurate because the discussion started over a year ago
Okay.
when I first became mayor, and the conversation was that they were looking for us to take over and annex it into the town because they were tired of plowing it. So what they would have
So you
done,
can see my confusion right there. Right? Or no?
no, there's no confusion. It's,
Okay.
how many meetings have you come to, or have you researched that?
The last
Asked?
couple, yeah.
Okay. Well, we've been talking about it for a couple of years, but anyways, they have offered, nothing's in place.
Right.
But they have offered to give us their plow truck that they normally drive up here.
Gotcha.
And it would be in our fleet. But we're very interested in taking over County Road 100.
Mm-hmm.
And so, well, but nothing's in place yet. Did you have something you wanted to add to that?
If you wouldn't mind, I'll clarify a little bit for you.
Stephen, do you mind coming up? Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's make one thing clear. When we talk about the city taking over a road for maintenance versus annexation, two different things. Annexation is not being discussed at all. So when we looked at 101 and 100, it is a lot of effort for the county to come up and plow those roads. So it's been on the table well before me getting with the county of whether or not Alpine wanted to go ahead and just take over the maintenance. That's all they do. So they don't affect your property, they don't affect any of the ordinances to you. It's just whether or not who's going to maintain those two roads. So that's where that came from. The commissioners asked the city of Alpine, if you're serious, send us a letter. That's how the letter came to be. And so they outlined several things, and one of was, we want to make sure we get chip sealed. Was it on 101 or 100?
100.
100 that we're chip sealing. So we've agreed to do that, and there's a 3-year period as to how far that goes. But it is strictly just the maintenance of the roads. It is not annexation, does not affect your decisions on any of your properties. You're still county residents, if that helps.
Thank you for
No, absolutely. And I gave him my card, so you guys can call me anytime. Okay?
And just my last little bit, I just wanted to clarify on, like, you know, city limits, are horses, goats, chickens, that kind of stuff allowed? Because a lot of residents in that area currently have those. So I don't know if they'd be forced to get rid of them or pay people to take care of them somewhere else, or.
So
how
I
that
don't
would
know
work out.
I'd have to see on a map your property. I will tell you that the town of Alpine is not actively looking to go take someone's property and annex it into the town of Alpine.
Cool.
We just had a big annexation, and we brought in, how many acres was it?
58.
58 acres, you know, from Brohams all the way out to the Flying Saddle. That's huge benefit to the town. The difference is that they actually use town water and sewer.
Sure.
They're already hooked up, so it made a lot of sense for them all to come in. But we're not actively looking to bring more people in. People come to us all the time with interest
Just
to be
curious,
annexed.
I mean, you know, livestock and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
where we
Now,
direct
the
that.
town of Alpine has ordinances specifically relating to what that is. If you have any questions, you can go and look at those on our website.
Gotcha.
But, or, you know, just like I told your wife, please reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to set up a meeting, and we'll figure out if it does make sense for you or not. So,
Sure. Thanks for
Okay,
your time.
thanks. Any other comments? Okay, let's get into our business here. The first action item is a third reading of the Land Use Development Code.
Motion to approve third reading of ordinance number 2025-011, Land Use and Development Code.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Discussion. So this is the third reading, and I'm not aware of any changes from second reading to third reading.
No.
Yeah. Councilmember Weirda, have you looked at it? Or?
I've read through
Yes.
this, but without, I have not been a part of the conversations leading up to it, so
Yeah.
I don't have a background context.
Okay.
So-
So, and I told you this in private, but if you feel most comfortable abstaining from the vote, then when we take the vote, you can just say, I abstain.
Yep.
Okay. Any other discussion? Questions? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor of ordinance number 2025-011, Land Use Development Code on third reading, say aye.
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 Abstain.
Abstain? Okay, opposed? Hearing none, ordinance carries on third reading. Good job. Okay, next is the Emergency Action Plan. Madam Clerk, can you give us a little background on this?
Yes, in light of just a lot of concerns recently, things about after your experience with the fire district and the possibility of fires and also the water.
Water main break,
Water
the
main
power
break,
went out.
power
last
went out,
winter.
yeah. And so with all of that, what we've recognized is there's not those official updated documents contained anywhere within the city. Emergency action plans are required by a lot of our funding sources as well. And so they should be annually looked at and reviewed and determined to be complete. I would imagine some of these things we will find. However, I don't have any specific documents. So
Yeah.
I think this is a much bigger, this is a very long-term project. This is not by the end of the year, we're going to have an emergency action plan for everything. It's going to be a big project where you're just going to have to take one item at a time and work through.
Yep.
So.
Thank you for that. Do we have a motion to get it on the table?
Motion to approve resolution number 2025-027, Emergency Action Plan Committee.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Discussion. Thank you for that background. The people that I see is, a few town staff, representatives from the Water and Sewer District. Obviously, the county has the emergency management people in place. They might be able to help us do most of this because their county plan covers the town of Alpine already. And obviously, any residents that are super passionate about this want to make sure that we have things in place. So if this does pass and anyone's interested in getting involved, please email myself or the clerk. And I think our goal should be to have this in place by the end of next year. If we can do it sooner, great, but we're not looking for like a weekly commitment. Maybe it's quarterly meetings or something like that. But if you're interested, please reach out. Any questions, comments? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of resolution number 2025-027, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, resolution carries. Okay. Next, we have 2025-028.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-028, recapture money restrictive funds.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Discussion. Madam Clerk, can you give us a little background on this one?
Yeah, recently, a representative from the WBC, which is the Wyoming Business Council, was in town for a meeting to do a site visit at the Melvin facility with the mayor and their leadership. The mayor and him came by the office to have a meeting with me about some information that he had shared with the mayor, which I appreciated. However, in just having the conversation and discussing the Melvin project, the original Melvin project, I became very quickly aware that the monies for the recapture are not allowed to be placed into the operating fund and used as part of our operating budget. They are supposed to be restricted funds, and there's a very specific plan that was adopted as part of the grant agreements that says how those monies are to be spent. So this is the first step in correcting that deficiency. So we will create a restricted fund, and then the next step is I need to audit all of the income that has been received for recapture, and all the expenditures since, I believe, 2019. Am I right? Is it 2019?
For when
When they started paying?
When they, yeah,
Matt or Pure Madness took it over?
no,
It'd be since beginning
the
of
beginning,
Melvin.
when was that?
Oh, that'd be 2016.
It was
2015.
2015, thank you.
Maybe even 2014.
I think they made their first payment, in 2015, though. But I had looked it up. But since they've made their first payment, I then need to review all the expenditures of the town of Alpine since then to